I never in a million years would have thought that I would finish an Ironman or enter an Ironman. And I don't remember exactly how it came about, but you were like, you said to me, why not? And that's all it took. And I'm like,
all right, looks like we are live once again. What's up, Ironmen and beyond? Busy high achievers all over the world. This is Coach Shangrila, and this is Vinetta here.
Hello.
We are excited for tonight's training. Why? Because we have Ken live with us, and we are going to talk about how he went from being a sprinter, triathlon distance racer, to finishing a half Ironman 70.3 in just a month. Actually, that was just last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah, Oceanside.
Yep. Let me just show you this beautiful thing that actually Vinetta prepared for us today. So this is Ken, who we're going to talk about the power of a can-do, the power of a can-do attitude in making almost impossible goals possible. Ken finishing Ironman Oceanside, half Ironman Oceanside 70.3 within a month. And today, we're going to talk about the power of can-do attitude to make things possible. Or also, we're going to talk about how did an old school type of athlete who did not have a Garmin watch yet at the time. I'm not sure even if he actually has a triathlon wetsuit. So we're going to talk about that, how he was able to incorporate technology like Garmin training peaks into his training. Basically, also translating that yes commitment to a consistent actions wherein even without having doubts, or if he ever had doubts during training, how did he overcome it? Okay, because a lot of athletes could be
I did it for the mug. I did it so I could get an Ironman.
There you go. There's a mug there. There's Ken. Yeah. Despite of unexpected, because I mean, he's very busy, okay? But he also has unexpected circumstances. And within a short amount of time, you know, how did he do it? And also, by the way, he just learned how to unclip his cycling shoes, I think about 2 weeks prior to the race. He has new shoes just in about a month too, new cycling shoes. And then he also just learned how to run proper technique. He's still learning. In fact, before his half Ironman, he has not completed a half marathon at all. So before, 2 months ago, he only completed 30 miles of cycling, I think about 500 meters of ocean swim, and then also 4 miles of running. That's pretty much about it 2 months ago. Okay.
I think a lot of athletes are in that place where he's now currently, probably.
Yeah, let's see who's here, who's actually in the same place wherein, you know, you probably just run 4 miles, just like Ken. Here's Ken, 5K or around the block, or maybe you still don't have a wetsuit or don't have a Garmin yet, you know, or or building the swim endurance, and could be, you know, you could probably be doing sprint and then like, how can I even finish a 1.2 miles and then bike 56 miles?
In the ocean.
And he actually did that only, you know, within the 2 months. And in fact, let me just show you, you know, in fact, he did not even know that he is going to be doing a 70.3 just last weekend. Okay. He's a Spartan racer. He started as a Spartan racer. Running is the weakest. He's been seeing himself as sprinter. But before we talk more about him, let's just introduce Ken Waters from California. How are you doing, Ken?
I'm good. I'm actually, you know that. I'm from the other coast. I'm from Boston, where we park our car in Harvard Yard. But that's where I was born and raised. I'm here in LA now. Been here for about 20 years, maybe.
Awesome.
But it all started. It started in 2018 for me. I was telling Vinetta that, you know, Facebook, you know, people can say what they want about it. It's got its good and it's got its bad. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing this. I was 2018. I would run on the treadmill.
Yes.
You know, I'd do like 2 miles on the treadmill, 3 miles on the treadmill. You know, nothing major, right? I had a mountain bike. I didn't have a race bike. I had just regular mountain bike, and I'd go down to the beach and I'd do 20 miles, right?
Yep.
an hour and 15 minutes, whatever. So I see this Malibu triathlon, and I'm thinking, you should do that. And then I'm looking at the distances, and they got the Olympic, which I know what that's about now, and then they got the little baby one, right? That's what I call it, the baby one, where you swim a half a mile, you bike 17 miles, and then you run 4 miles. And I'm thinking, I can do that. I was certified as a scuba diver when I was 13. I know how to swim. I can't do it. So me and the little guy in my head is fighting back and forth. Do this race. Don't do it. Do it. Do it. Finally, it's coming down to crunch time where if I don't sign up for it, that's it. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. I hit on the phone to sign up, register. And all of a sudden, registration closed, right?
Oh.
You tell me now, I've been fighting for a week and a half, 2 weeks. How are you going to do this? Now you tell me I can't? Now I want to do it now. So I
want more.
And I'm actually friends with the woman now. I email them and she's like, no, Ken. All you got to do is it's closed online. You got to come down in person. So, Friday before the race, you go packet pickup. That's how close I was to this race. So It was a Thursday. She's like, come on down. Friday, I go down there. I get my packet. I'm looking around. And as I'm driving in to Zuma Beach, I see this guy in this rimmed out pickup truck in front of me, Iron Man stickers on the back, right? And I'm thinking, you're in over your head with this one, buddy. You got Iron Man racing in this thing, So that Sunday rolls around. I show up with my mountain bike, right? I don't have a race bike. I'm not clipping the shoes. I'm looking around at these $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 race bikes. And I'm like, all right. So I line up and I hadn't swam for this race. I had not swam in years, but I'm thinking it's like riding a bike, right? I get down to the beach and I got the same suit that I'm wearing now. The little hat thing that I got on that it's not even a wetsuit.
Yeah,
surfers. Yeah.
Okay, it's not even a triathlon wetsuit.
I might as well swim in my birthday suit, right? So I look at the buoys, and when you get down there and look at one buoy to another, how far a half a mile actually is, I'm like,
hell no.
That's a little far,
Yeah.
So the race starts, I jump in and I do 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm not going to make it to this first buoy, right?
Not even the first buoy.
And I'm like, you can't not get through this now. You just told everybody you were running in a triathlon. They're like, don't you have to train for those things? I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. So needless to say, I got through that, I think, in like 20 minutes or 22 minutes was my first one. I did that half a mile in 22 minutes.
Sure.
And I got through the race. I did everything. And then after that is how it started. I was hooked on these races.
But then let me walk you through there. So back then you were not really racing crazy on triathlon like you just did in
I did 5 races since August this year.
Yeah, just 5 races. But before, when you started 2018, you kind of did one.
I did one in 2018. That's it, and I didn't train for it. I didn't do anything for it, and I finished in half. I was 48. Excuse me, back then, and I finished like half, like in the middle, and I was like, yeah, they're not too shabby for somebody who's not, And when you look around at the competition, there's some serious competition at these races. Sure. It's not a joke. 2019 is funny because I actually joined the Y, started swimming, right? Mm-hmm. I think I told you this when I first met you. And I'm like, I'm going to crush the swim. And I was running and a little bit, I wasn't really jogging too much because I knew it was only 4 miles, right? And I ended up doing the swim 15 minutes slower because I was doing this all over the course.
You were all over the course. So
yeah.
You finished some races already before you even met me. Actually, how did we meet? It was just Facebook. I
met you on Facebook.
It was just
I kept seeing your shows like this one and all your groups.
Sure.
And then I said, well, how do I? Because I wanted you to help me get through Malibu and get through the Spartan Beast. So at that point, there was no Cal Tri on my schedule. There was no Ironman for sure. And I had done the Little Hermosa Beach Triathlon already, which is 10 miles on the bike, a quarter-mile swim.
So for the rest of that, actually, let's check out who's listening. Hey, Archie. Good to have you.
Hi,
Anthony, Pauline. So for others to understand.
Dawn's here. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Yesenia's here.
Yesenia. Nice. You got some fans here.
Yesenia.
We want to hear you. All right. So, like 2 months ago, you already finished maybe like 3 sprint triathlons.
Yeah, just the little baby ones.
Yeah, the baby one. So
Yeah.
what made you actually like reach out or ask for help? Because you sounded like you get the feel of the ocean already, but what is it really that you wanted to get help on when you came to us?
I wasn't sure how people were actually training for these races.
I
was asking myself, am I overtraining? Am I not doing enough training? And then I think one of the first things I said to you was, I still need to do the weightlifting. I still need to do the core. And you're like, that's definitely a part of it. You definitely have to do that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, like I said, are people swimming, biking, running the same day, which I know now they are. It's called a brick, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't.
You're getting it. You're getting it. It's a brick, everyone. Bike and run.
Yeah. See, I didn't know what that meant, up until now. I'm like, is this how they're getting from point A to point B to become stronger at it? Or is that actually too much to do? So the other one that started having me do that. And before I did this Ironman that I was supposed to do in December, I wanted to do 2 or 3 more big bricks before I tackled it. And I wanted to at least get 2 or 3 13-mile runs out of my belt. That was the first time I ran 13 miles in my life.
Yeah.
With this Ironman.
That's so crazy.
I mean, I did a little bit of walking too, but the first time I've ever gone that far on foot.
Yeah. But you first, after you reached out to Shangrila, you got on a call with her probably, right? And what is it that made you decide, hey, I gotta get coaching? Because you were fine on your own. You were just, doing your own training. It was going fine.
I don't know if I was doing fine with it. I was watching the stuff that she was putting on the internet, and then I'm like, how many Guinness Book of World Records have you won? I'm like, she's
just 2.
just 2. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this has got to be
2 hard ones.
Yeah, she's got to know something that I don't know. And that it didn't even occur to me that during these long Ironman races, you need to plan for what you're going to eat, and then you actually need to test that in training to make sure your body agrees with it, that you don't end up in the woods or not in the woods. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be gross about it, but you need to figure that out, So that's why you saw, I think, remember the picture I showed you? I brought everything with me, but the kitchen sink one day.
Yeah.
Just to try different things.
Yeah. And I actually have this one here. I already picked it out. It's one of your questions. So you said nutrition, right? So now let's go to your post there, because it's crazy, because I'm pretty sure, think about it. He actually decided to, hey, I'm just going to do the Ironman the same month of the Ironman 70.3. Okay.
Well, 2 weeks before this was this.
Yes. Spartan.
And I'm still excited about finishing this thing.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks later, it was the Monday after this race that I found out that I had to switch.
So based on the schedule where we looked at, it was about 20 days when he switched. Okay, I'm going to do a 70.3 Oceanside this month. And that was only
you put it out there for me. I never in a million years would have thought that I would finish an Ironman or enter an Ironman. And I don't remember exactly how it came about, but you were like, you said to me, why not? And that's all it took. And I'm like, you think I can get there in time? And you're like, sure. And I'm like, all right, why not? And then that was the day that I signed up for it.
So
then I not only signed up for it, I made it public.
Yeah, I know. Let me just.
I'm like, this is happening. This is happening. So if I say that this is happening and it didn't happen this year, nobody probably would have remembered and said, hey, what happened to that Ironman you said you were doing? But for me,
it is actually this. It was, guys, he was so proud and happy, and it's like, you know what? I'm all in 100%.
I'm doing
September 3rd. Okay, September 3rd. That was about, exactly. Right now it's November 3rd. That was about 2 months ago when he said, I'm going to do a 70.3. This was supposed to happen December, but something happened and you know what? He had to make a choice. He decided to actually move it forward. And instead of moving it on December, he decided to do it on October 30th. That was only last Saturday.
But this is what happened too, because the Spartan Beast was October 16th. So in the back of my mind, and with what you were throwing at me for training, that's what we were planning for. We were training for the Spartan Beast.
Yep.
So that the real Ironman training actually hadn't kicked in yet. So that we were going to have, remember we talked about that?
Yep.
Like, let's cut back a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I saw Alex was doing the Cal Tri,
Sure.
which was my first Olympic. And you're like, yeah, sure, that's a good idea. Do that. So that got thrown into after the Malibu, which was I went from Malibu on September 19th to the Cal Tri on October 3rd.
So let's so at least our athletes who's actually watching this don't get lost with the dates, Ken, because they don't know the calendar right now. You're going too fast. All right. So,
Slow down.
all right. So here you
I
go.
wish my run was too fast.
October 1st, he actually PR. Well, right now he knows what it means by PR, personal record. He beat his personal record with a sprint triathlon, and that was only end of September. The next thing is that he got hooked on it. Well, how about if I do the Olympic? Would that be good, coach? And he did it the weekend after. That was actually his first.
It was a week later, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a week. Immediately, the next weekend, you jump on it. Can I actually do it? He jumped on it again. So that was, as you guys can see, the date here is only a week. And he did it with a actually pretty good time. If you look at it, come on, this is his first one. Coming from sprint, he was running only 4 miles then, 2 months ago. Look at this time. It's pretty good. Guess what? It is 18.8 miles per hour. That is with no clip shoes.
Yeah.
That's
well, you gotta remember too, my very first Malibu triathlon was on a mountain bike.
Yep. And as you guys can see, he has a nice jersey, his own look. That is Ken finishing, going up the hill of that 70.3 Oceanside last Saturday only. So as you guys can see this one, let me see. There you go. So, and then about a week after, he has another race, which is the Spartan. If I can pull that up. So what I'm saying is that, Ken, did you get sick? Or how are you feeling today after all these races? I mean,
I went for a run today.
Yeah. Yeah, that was your recovery. So, you decided, okay, coach, I just want to beat my PR and I want to do my Spartan, right? Too.
Yeah.
You ended up with a bonuses, your first Olympic, and amazingly, you even had your Oceanside 70.3, 2 months.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Doing that, all that, did you ever think that you can actually do that? Like within those 2 months? It was just, tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that there were 2 Ironmans. I did the little baby one, by the way. People that don't know, there's 2. I didn't know this until later. So you said this, I think the first time I trained with you and everybody, where we were in Long Beach and you were like, swim there back and do it twice. And I'm like, twice? I'm going to be lucky if I can do it once. And then you had us go on a 50 or 40 or whatever mile bike ride.
So at least others would understand. When I say swim out there and back, that was a total of 1,000. That was only 2 months ago when I asked him to do that.
But that was the first
and back. That was
the furthest I ever swam.
That was the furthest 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because
and then you had me ride the farthest I've ever ridden and then run the farthest I've ever ran that day. So that was the first big training exercise I ever did for this. But that was only
2 months ago.
A couple months ago, right?
Yeah. You've been doing this one only 2 months. How do you feel about that big jump? Was that 2 months?
Well, back to we lost track here. Back to the Ironman. And that was the day that you dropped it on me. And I'm like, I'm telling everybody I'm doing an Ironman, right? I'm doing Ironman. And then you're like, and you looked at me, you're like, but you're doing the small one.
I said a baby one.
I said, wait a minute. We've been doing a small one. I'm doing the baby Ironman. I didn't realize there were 2, right? To me, that's big enough. So so people that don't know this, I did the baby Ironman. there's a big one coming up, and I can't get the Iron Man tattoo until I do the big one. That's what I was told.
Not done yet. That's basically what he's saying. Everyone, you don't need to know all the definition of this one. Just sign up and you get to be Ken.
There's two Ironmans. There's the little baby one that I did. So I'm like Iron Baby. And there's the big kahuna, which is double. So take one, it's giant. But that's already, Amy has already got me planting that seed back here. So my plan for next year is to go back to Oceanside, do sub 6 hours if I can. I think easily enough I can, maybe even sub 5.
That's pretty
that'd be
fast,
huge for me.
But go for
bring the numbers down. Like even in transition, like I kind of took my time. At one point I had garbage in my pockets. I threw it away. I kept my, so I wasn't really, I could take 5 minutes off each one of those easily. But yeah, the plan is to go back to Oceanside, and then if I get Escape from Alcatraz, do that one, and then maybe go for the big boy.
That's
but awesome. I got to get my run
love
back.
Love it.
Oh, and then there's a Spartan Beast that they're talking about doing in March of next year.
You're gonna ask something, Mina?
Yeah. So I know a lot of athletes, when they go into triathlon, they want to get all the awesome gears. They want to get all the gadgets, the wetsuits, the Garmins, the cycling shoes, like all the and you didn't do any of that. You didn't do it for the gadgets.
Not really. He didn't do it first.
Yeah,
he did it later. Mm-hmm. He didn't even know what to get, but he just come to us. I need help, coach.
Well, yeah, I didn't have a watch. I had my phone for that first long bike ride, which ran out of juice. I couldn't even try, because that's what I was using. Everybody's got the phone. You put it on your bike, and you got the little app, and your phone's battery only lasts for so long. But I finally got the watch. That slowed me down too, because the Garmin I got, it doesn't have the triathlon mode on it. So I spent, minutes fiddling around with that. The swim didn't work. So I'm going to get a better one where it's just got the triathlon mode on it. But yeah, I didn't have the watch. I didn't know what a cassette. I don't know what a cassette is on the bicycle.
You didn't have your cycling shoes, the cleats, even the nutrition, even the how to hold the bottle during the run.
Yeah, I got that. I don't know if I like that, but
yeah,
all the gels, all this other stuff.
Because there's a lot of outfits that
running shoes. I was running in crappy old. It was like I had bricks on my feet.
Yeah. So because a lot of outfits actually, they're what they get stopped on is because I don't have all this. But for you, it seems like it's different.
Yeah, you just went for the thing that matters, which is basically making sure your body can handle it, not.
Well, like for the Hermosa Tri, right? Like that's a little tiny one. I'm trying to talk Erin into doing it. Erin, but it's 10 miles, right? And I had guys next to me that were on bikes that were much more expensive than mine. And I was beating them, so it's not necessarily the bike. And I said that to Alex too. I said, you can have the most expensive bike in the world, but if you don't got nothing in the tank, then it's not going to matter to the guy that's got, something. I saw people on the Ironman that weren't clipping. And I was like, good for you, because I knew the difference that it made, especially for almost 60 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like this one, the Malibu, no clip, 17.42 miles per hour. And then
there was no clips there. I didn't have the clips then.
And then what now, with clip shoes, which you did in Oceanside, and you actually, how did it feel, much better, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So let me see. When you decided to sign up for your first 70.3, you said, why not?
No, you said, why not?
I said, why not? And do you just follow?
No, I said, you think I can? And then you said, why not? And then just that why not is like.
Did you ask yourself that? Yeah. And what was the answer?
Why not was the answer. Just saying the answer and the question were about the same. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Like, and then I was thinking at the time, I'm like, that's plenty of time to train. But it all got pushed forward, literally got pushed forward 7 weeks, because the week after the Spartan Beast, I was now psychologically after the Spartan Beast, I'm like, I have now how many, 2 weeks, 19 days to train for this? Remember I was talking to you about, I'm like, and I asked her, I said, can I do this? I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? And then as the days progressed and I went on my first long bike ride, like really long one, after that, I'm like, I did a really good swim. And then it was the swim, actually, the day before packet pickup. I had a good swim. I'm like, yeah, I got this, you know.
Nice.
So. You have like I said, you have the power of the can do. The can do. When you say yes, you just do it, you know.
But
yes.
you got people too that look at me because I'm a little older and say, well, you're too old to do that, you know. And I'm like, you don't understand these races. There's people in there that are much older than me that are faster than I am. You just need to get out there and do it. You know, you can do it too. And I tell everybody I know that, I'm like, you can do this. There's no reason that you can't, but a lot of people think that they can't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And one of the things that I also know that is your asset is because you focus on positive things.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to talk about certain things. I'm like, you know.
Yeah. You're like, you know that it's there, but you don't even want to think about it. You're going to focus on doing it.
Yeah.
Because, and I know that we had this conversation, coach, can I do it? And I'm like, as a coach, I have to look at the big picture, negative and positive. And I did bring up like, okay, Ken, you can do this, but as long as you communicate, if there's something like you're feeling pain or discomfort, I'm afraid of the injury. Coach, I don't want to talk about injury right now. I'm doing the 70.3. And this is the last time I'm going to hear that from you right now. I'm like, okay, but I need to communicate. So he doesn't even want to think about the flat. I was like, you got to prepare for it, but okay. But as long as I said to you, so I think what's great about you.
I saw many people with flats on that course too.
Yeah. Good thing it's not you.
I was like this. I'm like, I ain't going to get flat. There ain't going to be no flats here. At one point I thought I had a flat. And I'm like, you ain't got no flat. No flat.
Yeah. So
that's like a nightmare.
But yes, you believe in yourself.
Well, I don't get like I get a little sore, but within a day it's gone.
But during the training, did you have doubts? Because like I said, you decided I'm gonna move the 70.3, like sooner, right? And you only have like 2 weeks left to train. Usually, as a coach, I know you should be tapering, right? But like as a coach too, feistyfox coaching, we got loopholes. It could be okay, but there's a lot of communication. So now, during the training, did you ever have doubts that maybe it's not the right time? I'm just curious. Did that, and you don't have to admit it if there is, but
well, the only doubt, I wouldn't call it a doubt. It's just that I know, and I don't understand why my run ain't a lot stronger than it was, because when I was a kid, I can tell you I could run. I could really, really run when I was younger. So I don't know why it's that much. But if we go back to where it was 3 months ago, it's 10 times stronger.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you remember did you ever walk in the March of Dimes when you were younger? The walkathons?
Yeah.
It was like a 20-mile thing, and you had your relatives and your aunts and uncles give you a nickel per mile, and you give the money to the March of Dimes.
I'm going to say no to that. but going back to what we're talking about.
What I'm saying is, as a kid, I would run those. Instead of walking it, I would run the damn thing.
Gotcha.
And be done before everybody else. So I guess maybe because I haven't ran so much before, but I think that was the only doubt I had was, and we knew this at the end of the race. I said we knew the run was gonna hurt my PR.
Personal record. So
Yesenia, that's what got you from beating me. Was my run.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that, Yesenia?
So going back there. So I guess on the 2 weeks leading up to the 70.3.
Yeah.
Were you concerned about the run? Did you hurt during the run training? How was that for you? Is there anything in your mind that creep in? Oh, did I do
my
right?
Strategy was to get through I knew I was going to get through the swim, right? Mm-hmm. And when the swim ended, I kind of knew I had a decent time with the swim. And then as soon as the first 28 miles of that bike ride was a breeze, I literally finished half of that Ironman in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm halfway through this already. And I knew. And then the other half of the bike was a freaking nightmare because it was all up, right? But then what goes up must come down too. So so the plan was to get through the first two relatively fast without using everything I got. And then the first half of the run, I was right on par. You know what I mean? It was the last 6 miles of the run that slowed me down.
Yep.
But that was the only doubt I had, was the run part of it.
Yeah.
Everyone, his longest run in his entire life was just last Saturday during a 70.3 half Ironman that he did within just, a month or 2 weeks of training.
I mean, the plan was for this month to get in like 2 or 3 or even more long runs. So I had a time to say, okay, you did this run in training in whatever.
It didn't happen.
The most I ever did in training was 9.5.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to just.
And that was and you told me no more big stuff before the race because you wanted me to.
Yeah. And I want to emphasize that for everyone who's listening right now is because they go for the number. I got to do this before I got to run half marathon first before I can sign up for 70.3. And actually, that's more of like just building your confidence. You got to be confident within you already, believe in yourself, just like what Ken, and then do the right proper training. Because as Ken said, I'm going to do a half marathon first, a long big run and all this big stuff, right? The distance. But I don't think that did happen, Ken. It happened in 70.3. I mean, ideally, it would be amazing for everyone to get it done. But sometimes life happens or sometimes we get busy.
Well, I mean, just to know that you can, like, when I went for the run today, like if I do another small triathlon, they're going to be nothing for me because I did this 70.3. Like, well, you got through that, you can get through this. You know what I mean? So to know that you did a 13.1 in a race to run a 5K today was like, yeah, I'm just going to go run a 5K, and then you come home and you do whatever else you got to do. You go back to work or, So.
Wow.
But yeah, I never would have signed up for the Ironman if you wouldn't have gave me that nudge,
Not at all.
Like, I don't know if I came across I don't know if you mentioned it to me or if I saw it. I think you mentioned it to me. You're like, well, what about one of these Ironmans? I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
So is that a good thing then?
Well, yeah.
Just want to make sure.
I think you already know this.
Before you signing up, so I got to be good, I hope.
Well, I think you already know this. 0.5% of the population is what's crossed an Ironman finish line.
Yep.
That's tiny,
Yep.
That's very, how tiny that is? That's like nobody.
It varies, yeah.
Oh, and thanks for warning me about the swim, too. I don't want to scare anybody, but that swim was... That was full contact.
Yeah, and this is like the same guy who's saying that he's pretty comfortable, scuba diving many years ago.
No, listen, I ain't complaining about it. I had a ball during that swim, but it really it was a little crowded in that water.
Too much, right?
Yeah, people grabbed my watch. Somebody actually scratched the bottom of my foot. It had to have been a girl with a long nail or something. I felt I thought you just scratched my foot. And then the other, they were grabbing my, I was afraid I was going to lose my timing chip at one point. They were grabbing at my ankle. I'm like, you guys are getting crazy.
Wow.
But no, it was fun.
Yep.
They're addictive. I mean, I don't know people that haven't, I think you already know this. These races are like, you do one and then as soon as it's over, I'm like, I don't have anything scheduled for the rest of the year. And I'm thinking, I got to do one more.
Yep.
So what would you say, switching the subject a little bit, what would you say made the biggest difference that she helped you with?
Me
and the team, yeah.
The team.
Well, it's just training with you and everybody and meeting everybody else that's training for these races. And I tried explaining that to Aaron and other people that I've tried to talk into doing these races. I'm like, you got to see the people that do this. You see them walking down the street and you never know that they have this in them to do one of these races. So if you doubt yourself, which I had doubts about it, you know what I mean? But just to train with like-minded people and to see how everybody else is getting through it and how excited everybody is to do it. It's just the motivation part of it is huge. And you're nonstop. you know, I mean, nonstop. So to see that, you know, your training schedule every morning, to know that this is, and I got to be honest with you, you know, I'm like, she's crazy if she thinks I'm doing that much today, you know. So you do, I think, push us, you know, you completely push us beyond what we think we can do, you know. So I'm already definitely planning on the big one next year.
Nice.
I got to, you know.
Someone's saying here, gotta do IMAs. Some full Ironman.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. If you think about it, Cam, right now, we have a lot of athletes actually watching this. Can you, Vinetta's reading them right now. Got Yesenia, Fanny's here. Jonathan, what's up, Jonathan? What's the fact that you were already, was the fact that you were already active and already training for Spartan race help? Jonathan's asking. Seems that you were inadvertently doing Jonathan, you got some complicated question. Doing some map training. He doesn't even know what Ironman yet either. But so he's asking, you know, if you're doing a Spartan already, right? Well, so Jonathan.
Well, we started training on the Culver Steps, which was all hills. So it was more trail running. But yeah, it definitely helped to strengthen my legs and then the upper body. And then you had me doing all the core too. Yep. So the core exercises are gigantic.
So we added a lot of strength exercises during the 2 months, right? Yeah. And also, Jonathan, just to repeat that, so he was, you know, the longest distance he's been doing was only biking. He wasn't unclipping. Running was 4 miles. He would do Spartan.
Wait. You know what, too? Remember I told you how I was training? Yeah. I didn't always use my speed bike. I would only use it for a race because I didn't have the clips. So I was training. I haven't used my mountain bike in maybe 6 weeks now. But remember, I wear the sweat vest, a backpack with at least 15 pounds in it, and I'm on the mountain bike. I'm on a my mountain bike. Is how I was training for the bike.
All right. So another question from Andrea: what does your recovery looks like, Cam?
Usually by the next day. I don't get too sure. The only thing that was sore on me for the Ironman was my right calf. And in the swim, it was more of all of a sudden my right calf started to get a cramp in it. Remember I told you? Mm-hmm. And I ignored it. I'm like probably 15 minutes into the swim, and I'm like, it started cramping up, and I didn't give it any of my energy. Sure. And just worked through it. And that was the only part of my body that was sore the next day. And then Tuesday, it was gone. How was your
nutrition during the 70.3 race? Since you're new to the nutrition also.
Well, I was eating bananas, those waffles, a lot of the goo. And then on the bike, they were giving us Gatorade about every 15 miles. So I was partaking in one of those, or half of one. And then I had 3 drinks of my own that I brought with me. And about every 45 minutes on the bike, I had the gels. And then on the run, you didn't need too much because they were giving you the electrolytes and the water like every mile. Got it. I had 2 gels on the run.
Yeah. So one of the things that he needed actually to work on is the nutrition. Let me, this one here.
Yeah. I remember you
did post it, this one.
What to eat, what you had to eat during the race, right? Before?
He posted this one. Guess what? It's the week. He was doing so many different things. He wanted to make sure. I've ordered this.
Oh, that's one of the things I ordered.
Anyone ever tried this? I'm like, let's stick to the plan. This is, we talked about this one already during the call. So, we went through the nutrition label and also what are the different things he needed to do during the call. It went well.
Yeah. But I didn't discover those. I need the Stinger waffles.
Yeah, you discovered it in Spartan, which is also just a number, right? That's good, Coach, right?
Yeah. Oh, pickle juice. I had a couple little pickle juices that I did before I did one before the bike ride and one before the run.
Okay. Any question?
Yes.
Oh, what is Jonathan? Good job. a lot of questions from Jonathan. Jonathan, what is your nutrition pre and post workouts? I think you answered that already, right? Pre and post workouts.
There's no rhyme or reason yet for it. Like before I do, if I'm gonna do one of your bricks, that morning, I'll do a couple pancakes, some scrambled eggs, and like a piece of ham.
Gotcha. That answer your question? Let me see.
Jonathan.
And
also,
and then afterwards, I mean, I eat like an animal. You know, it's usually I eat a lot of chicken breast, white rice, broccoli, stuff like that. A lot of seafood. If I'm gonna do fish, I'll do fish and potatoes sometimes.
I'm just going to share this. This was actually what he told me through an email. That was only 3 weeks leading to Oceanside 70.3. Hey, coach, let's pretend that I just F it and transfer my La Quinta 70.3 to Oceanside. I would need some serious training days to get ready and advice on race day nutrition. 19 days, long enough to train for a 7. This was 3 weeks prior to Oceanside. Good job, Ken. Good job. And yeah, I think here you go. This is before we leave.
Oh, this is also my only second Zoom in my life. I don't know why I'm not a big.
By the way, yeah, we are special. We had to teach and do a Zoom one-on-one, but he got it handled. This is Ken. 2:10 minutes per 100 yards on the swim, 3:35 hours on the bike. Pretty good, actually. 2:42 on the run, the longest run ever. Is that helping you guys?
I'm a little slow, but I'm behind. I'm not too far behind the rest of you, so watch out. Dennis, if you're watching, you and me, buddy.
Oh, there you go, Dennis. All right. Well, Feisty Coaching is very, very, very proud of you. Thanks a lot, Ken, because right now, I'm sure, I don't know who's going to sign up, and they're going to ask themselves, why not? If Ken did it.
You need a shirt that says, why not? Right?
Yeah, there you go, Ken. Why not?
Because prior to all this, I was just doing 3 races this year.
Yeah. You did not even think about Ironman at all.
Well, the first time I did the Malibu Triathlon, they have the one on Saturday is the Olympic one. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm like, I could never do that. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden now I'm doing Olympic triathlons. Now I'm doing Ironmans, and now I'm thinking about doing the big one. That's a huge race. That ain't.
There's no stopping you now.
Well, I mean, that's huge, you know.
You're gonna be like, what is it there to do? Ironman. Why not?
Right. And you did what? 1 a day for 30 days or something like that?
23. 34. 23 and 34.
33, 34. That's gigantic right there. So I got to at least do 1.
Yeah. Well, it's just the beginning for you, Ken. So much growth ahead of you, and I can't wait to actually hear what's next for next year. I'm sure Ironman is in your timeline, but which one?
Yeah, which one?
Well, I'm thinking April for Oceanside, and then isn't Arizona after that?
It'll be in November on Arizona, but there'll be more.
November, but yeah, and then if I do get the, I'm looking at the paper right here. If I do get the lottery for Alcatraz,
yes.
Now that's epic, right?
Yeah,
that's epic. I mean, people that don't know about this race that are listening, they take you on a boat, they drive you to Alcatraz Island, and they say jump and swim to shore, and that's how you that's how you start the triathlon. And then what? It's all uphill, right? On the bike.
Yeah, it's technical.
Another bike ride to the top of the world.
Yep. It is technical. Well, for all those athletes, if you guys are getting value from out of this interview with Ken, say #value. We love that you're able to actually spend time with us, Ken. This is actually what we do in Feistyfox Coaching. We help high achievers just like Ken. He has the can-do, why not attitude. Who's ready to take whatever it takes and actually get it done. The confidence. So if that's you, and maybe all you need to hear is from someone, even just one person, to tell you, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Right? Because
these races are a blast.
Yeah,
It's
because
so much fun.
yeah, if you did not have that 15-minute call that we had, you would not be in this call. And in fact, I did not think that you will be right here, right now, too soon, but you did it. You did it. And actually, you helped me broke my personal record. I'm just gonna share this. I was telling you earlier here. So previously, before we helped Ken here, my previous record to actually help an athlete to finish a 70.3 is 7 weeks. This Mona finished her second Ironman in 3 months. Second Ironman within 3 months. So, but then now Ken has proved that it can actually be done within a month. And actually, with him, he decided on it. Train it for 2 weeks. And it's not about just training, getting the results within a faster. I mean, who doesn't want fast results? But it's not about just that. What about someone like Ken, satisfied, happy, feeling like, hey, if I could do this right now, why not the full Ironman, right? Why wait? Why wait? And it's not just that also, it's because he feels much stronger and he's not injured. So as Mona, who got the results faster. So if you're that type of athlete who's actually, can I actually do it? I'm not just going to motivate you, because I have to be realistic as well, because not everyone, we don't coach everyone. So to us, it's more of like just giving you more of advice, what's next, what's holding you back, and then get back to work. And when it's ready for you, then, you go do your own 70.3 or full Ironman. Maybe you're actually going to over exceed what I tell you, just like what Ken did, where Ken, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Oceanside, you have not done your half Ironman?
Well, Oceanside, I love it down there. You know what I mean? It was a blast of a race. Everything was bigger than big. And it's just, I can't explain the high you're on after you do one of these races, especially this one. I mean, Ironman.
More. It's like you want more.
I remember when they used to televise the Ironman. Do you remember that back in the day when I was a kid? They would do, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about doing that. But now I just finished one. So it's like,
yes,
it's
you're like at the top of the world. It's like you can do anything.
Yeah, and I exaggerate a little bit, like I tell people, hey, that swim, better watch out. But it was a little bumpy, but it was what a hell of a good time. Sure. And then there's people there helping you get out of the water, you know what I mean? And everybody I met on the course, just fantastic people, everybody giving me advice. And believe it or not, I would say 80% of the people I talked to, it was their first Ironman, you know? And then there's got the other ones that, they're like, yeah, that's my 10th one, or I've done 3 full and 6, this is my 5th one here. I love this race. But everybody's giving you advice, do this, do that, watch the hill that's coming up. And everybody's like, you can do it. It's just, everybody's just.
Who wants to be like Ken? Let's just do it, right? Who wants to be like Ken? So if you guys are wanting to be, to just finish your first 70.3 or full Ironman, or actually,
blast.
If you just want to have like an opinion or some advice or a little tip or some homework to actually get you moving forward, just even a little step forward, put hashtag game plan below, so you can actually have a call between me and Binetta, and we can help you out, just like how we help Ken. Because after that call, he's like, you know what, coach, I'm gonna do it. And he's proud.
Well, then just the open water swims with everybody too. And then I did not even know that all that existed down at Long Beach. I did not know that area was there. You know what I mean? So everything that you taught me along the way, as far as just everything, that's what people go to train,
And I don't think you would have learned what's out there or what's the possibility until you commit to yourself, I'm going to do that. Because the house of how you get there, it happened after you committed to yourself. I'm going to do that. And the house just like, I got to do it. Now what?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had to do this race this year. There's no way that I could not have,
Yeah.
I mean, would La Quinta have been easier for me? Probably. Would I have been in better shape? Absolutely. Would it all would have been a little faster, but
it's another step though. Yeah. You're just like another step.
Yeah. And I got,
Yeah. Show us Let's see it. There you go.
Oh, don't forget the mug. I got the mug. I got the hat. I got all the swag.
Oh my God, we're so proud of you. Thank you so much, Ken.
Well, it all started too with me. I just wanted to join you and your swimmers that one morning, and then it kind of, I talked to you, and
I just asked you, like,
kind of
show up.
Yeah,
Show up.
yeah. We were swimming with the dolphins that one day.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Especially because like a lot of athletes actually reaching out to me, messaging me, and like, just show up, meet us, because we don't bite, and that's what happened with the Ken.
Yeah.
And all right, everyone, I hope that was very, very, very valuable to you. So I hope you can get to where you want to be. If it's not now, someday, but it has to be, at your own terms. When you want it, when you're ready, go for it. And if you're like in the middle, like I'm not sure what is the but there. Let's talk about it, because it could be just unknown fear. It could be just not knowing how, and all the house, like for us, we just help you navigate things. You're the driver. That's Ken was the driver. I did not force him. It was like, why not? That's all I did.
Well, you were there pushing, you were pushing,
I just like a nudge.
With the training, you were giving me the direction I needed to understand how to train for these races, what to do, what not to do. That you got to do a long bike ride. You got to put mix them up together, and the brick, right? The brick.
There we go. He's learning. All right.
So.
All right, Ironman and Beyond. Till next week, we're gonna have another live free training. If you get some value, say #value. Let's thank Ken to sharing his experience, for us learning more about his experience and actually inspiring all of us. We're so proud of you, Ken.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone. All right.
All right.